Welcome to 4.11's Math Moment. Today in 5th grade, students just did some review of multiplication with a variety of strategies to solve these problems. They worked a lot with word problems today, so we have a couple of those examples to work through today. The very first question says, Henry has saved 6/10 for his $1,205 vacation. How much has Henry saved? Well, I know he saved 6/10. This is how much his vacation cost. When I think about the number 6/10, I can review from what I've already learned in 5th grade and know that he doesn't have the whole amount yet. He's got a portion of it. He's got a little more than half. So looking at this number, I know my answer is going to be smaller when I multiply this decimal and this whole number, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to use place value sections to model this question as well with a decimal and a larger number. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to think about the number 1,205. I'm going to break that number apart into 1,000 plus 200 plus no tens and then 5. I'm going to apply this into my box method. I can actually use this to help me create my box or my place value sections. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to make my sections right now under each one. So I very quickly have made each of my sections for my expanded notation. Now I just need to add my 6/10 on here. As we work with decimals, we told the students to ignore the decimal to the very end. We're going to do the same thing here. It's good to have the students go ahead and write the number up there as 6/10 so they don't forget it's a decimal, but at the very end we're going to add that decimal into it. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 6 times 1,000, which I know is 6,000. I'm going to take 6 times 2, which is 12. I'm going to add my 2 zeros for an answer of 1,200. I'm going to take 6 times 0, which is 0, and then I have 6 times 5, which is 30. Now I just need to take all of these numbers and add them over to the side. So I have 6,000, I have 1,200, I have nothing here. Some students might skip this step, some students might want to write it down, kind of depends on your student. And then the last number I have is 30. Now I need to add these numbers up for my final answer of 7,230. Now I need to go ahead and make sure that I have added in my decimal, which is 1 hop over, going to the end of my number, 1 hop over, which means he has saved $723 in this for his trip. Now, it's really important that you make sure that the students go back in and add that decimal. Even as an adult, it's sometimes easy to forget to put that decimal back in there. If we would have looked at this answer, we would have saw he saved $7,230. Well, that's more than his trip even cost. That doesn't seem reasonable. Going back and reviewing the question, we'd see we need to go back and put a decimal in. All right, example number 2 says chicken is on sale for $1.50 per pound. David purchases 6 4/10 pounds for an upcoming dinner party. How much does David spend? Okay, so we know it's for $1.50 per pound. He has 6 4/10 pounds. How much is he going to spend? Well, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to solve this one traditionally, and I'm going to write down my $1.50. And I'm going to multiply that by my 6 4/10 pounds. Solving traditionally, I have 0 times 4, which is 0, 5 times 4, which is 20, and then I've got 1 times 4, which is 4, plus 2 more is 6. Cross off the 4 because I've used it, put my 0 down as my placeholder. 0 times 6 is 0, 5 times 6 is 30, and then I've got 1 times 6, which is 6, plus 3 more is 9. When I add these numbers all together, I have an answer that looks like this. Now I need to hop back in with my decimals, like I've done previously, to put those decimals back in there. I know there's 1, 2 decimals over here, and there's a third decimal over here, which means I need to go to the end of my number and hop over 1, 2, 3 times. 1, 2, 3 times. For an answer that looks like this. Notice I'm leaving one of the zeros on because we're working with money, so our answer would have been $9.60. If you have any questions about today's lesson, make sure you see your math teacher.